friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Victoria and today we're going to be doing my March wrap-up. So I didn't do a mid-month wrap-up in March because I just could not, I wasn't filming. I talked about it in my April TBR for like the reasons why I wasn't filming, but I just did not do a mid-month wrap-up in March. So I have 19 books to talk about in this video. So I'm gonna go kind of quickly. Also, I am not wearing makeup and this is the first sit-down video I think that I've ever filmed where I'm not wearing makeup and I'm feeling really uncomfortable about it, but I'm trying to ignore it. I'm going with it. So I'm sorry for my face, but this is what it looks like and I don't want to irritate my skin more by putting makeup on, so, and I wanted to film. So we're just gonna go past it and we're gonna start with the first book that I read in the month of March, which was If You Hate Me by Helena Hunting. I got an audio advanced copy for this and also was sent a PR package actually from Good Girls PR of it. So here's, I do actually have the book. It's right next to me on my stack of books to haul. But this is the book. It is a hate to love brother's best friend hockey romance. And I unfortunately didn't love this book. I didn't hate it either. I gave it 3.5 stars, but honestly it was more like, if I gave 0.75 ratings, it would be like 3.75, but I rounded down to 3.5. It just, I had a hard time with the actual relationship between them. Like, it was spicy. It was probably one of Helena's most spicy books, but the spice wasn't enough for me to believe the relationship. There wasn't enough like connection, I think, between like emotional connection between the two characters. But I'm really excited for the future of the series. The next book, I believe, is a dad's best friend book, which I'm super, super excited for. And I did enjoy myself reading this book. The spicy scenes were great. Like, they were very spicy, but I wanted a little bit more emotional connection between the characters. So 3.5 stars. The next one that I read was, I think, the only book that I gave 5 stars in the entire month of March that wasn't a reread, and that was Where We Started by Ashley Munoz. I absolutely adored this book. It was so freaking good. It is a second chance motorcycle club romance. The heroine is the daughter of the head of this motorcycle club, and she grew up as the daughter of the head of the motorcycle club, and she just had a hard time with that. Her father was involved in some shady shit because of the motorcycle club. She didn't love the atmosphere of the motorcycle club and she really just like didn't want to be involved in it. And she ended up meeting this guy when she was younger and they started a relationship. They were very much in love and circumstances happened and they ended up breaking up. She leaves, and when she comes back for her father's funeral, he is now the head of the motorcycle club that her father used to run. And it is the kind of angst that I love, and it was just beautiful and emotional and so well written, and the connection between the two of them was just absolutely everything. And I am so excited to read the next book in this series and read more by Ashley Munoz because I absolutely loved her writing. But this book was so fabulous, and if you haven't picked it up, definitely pick it up. The audiobook is actually on Hoopla, which is how I listened to it, and the audiobook of book 2 comes out in May, I believe, so I'm really excited to read that one, and book 3 actually comes out this month, so really excited to read more from this author. I absolutely loved this book. 5 stars all around. The next 2 books that I read were Lauren Rowe. I love Lauren Rowe and have for many years. She is one of my favorite authors, and for a very long time I had read her entire backlist because she hadn't put out books for like a year and a half, and then she released a whole bunch of books in a row and I hadn't picked them up. So I picked up Who's Your Daddy and Textual Relations. And for Who's Your Daddy, it is a older woman, younger man romance, and it is a single mom. Actually, that's true for both Who's Your Daddy and Textual Relations. It's older woman, younger man, and single mom. And in Who's Your Daddy, they have a one-night stand, and then after the one-night stand, when they're like have already made plans to possibly see each other again. She sees a picture and realizes that she used to date his father, and that she found out that his father was cheating on his wife with her. And so she freaks out and is like, OMG, and she ditches. And then she sees him again a couple of months later, and they have like mutual friends now. And there are so many like shenanigans that happen and so many things where you're like, they're connected in all of these ways. So they keep like being put in situations where they see each other, and it was just a really, really fun book, and I had a great time with it. I gave it 4 stars. I felt the exact same way about Textual Relations. I might like Textual Relations a little bit more, but it was shorter. Textual Relations is one of those ones where they like text the wrong number, and the woman that the guy ends up texting is this older woman who they end up meeting in real life and falling in love. And it was a very quick relationship for this one, but I believed it a little bit more because it was so short. Like, it felt like almost like novella, and I really enjoyed both of them. I had so much fun, so 4 stars for both of those books. Then I read Archer by Dr. Rebecca Sharp. I had been trying to read books before a Polycon by some authors that I hadn't read before, and I have had Dr. Rebecca Sharp on my list for ages, and I decided to pick up Archer, which is book 1 in the Reynolds Protection Group series, and it is romantic suspense, and I really liked Archer. I gave it 4 stars. This one is a romantic suspense. Like I said, it's sort of second chance. The heroine is in witness protection, and Archer, who's the hero, when he first met her, she was young. Her father was an informant to the police for the Irish mob, and he was about to testify when they were put in danger, and then they faked their deaths, and Archer didn't know that the death was fake, and so when he sees her years later, he is shocked because he always felt like he had failed her. And they see each other again, but they had like a connection back when they had first met, and so now they see each other again, and when she's put in danger again, he will stop at nothing to protect her, and it's so good. Really liked the romantic suspense element. It was super, super interesting. Had a great time with it. Then I read Sincerely Your Inconvenient Wife by Julia Wolf. This is a marriage of convenience romance, and it's book 2 in a series that I've read book 1 and book 3 from. So book 1 was Dear Grumpy Boss, and I liked that one, and then book 3 was P.S. You're Intolerable, and I loved that one. So I went back and read book 2, and I didn't like it as much as P.S. You're Intolerable, and I actually think I like Dear Grumpy Boss better than this one also, so this one might be my least favorite in the series. I just didn't love the heroine, and I didn't love their connection either. The marriage of convenience part was like kind of dumb. Like, I like when they both are getting something out of the marriage, and I honestly just didn't seem like she was getting enough out of the marriage. She was just like doing it because she like wanted to help people, and I just thought that was kind of dumb. So I gave it 4 stars, but it's definitely like a low 4 stars. Then I read Hunter, which is book 2 in the Reynolds Protective series by Dr. Rebecca Sharp, and this one was actually my least favorite in the series. I gave it 3.5 stars, and honestly, I don't remember what happened in it. I don't remember it, and that tells you how memorable it was, because I literally don't remember a single thing that happens in this book. I know I gave it 3.5 stars. I know it was my least favorite in the series, and obviously it was forgettable because I don't remember a single thing. Then I read The Skeptic by Kelly Fox, which I did not like. This is another one that like I can't give you like a full plot because I literally put it out of my mind because I just did not enjoy it at all, which was so sad because I love every other Kelly Fox book that I've read. But if you're gonna read Kelly Fox, pick up Mobsters and Billionaires, which is 1 million times better than this book. So this one was about like a guy who's a priest, or had like failed out of like priest school, and then he has a romance with like a family friend's kid or something like that. I don't know. I didn't like this book. Wouldn't recommend it. Then I read Wild River by Laura Pavlov. Laura sent me an audio arc for this one, and I enjoyed this one. I definitely like Loving Romeo better, but I did enjoy Wild River. This one was more of a like enemies to lovers story, which I normally like, but in this case it was we don't like each other but let's have sex, which is not my favorite trope to have. I don't love a we're enemies with benefits type of situation. Especially when like they're like enemies with benefits with like an ending and they're like, we're gonna like, I have to leave at this point. I always just is a repetitive plotline, which is not my favorite. So I did give this one 4 stars. Again, it's a low 4 stars, but I still really enjoyed it. It did have that like found family aspect of other Laura Pavlov books. I love all of the side characters who I think were like more of a win in this book than the main couple. But there was one thing with River where I was like, why are you acting like an absolute dumbass later on in the book, which I felt was out of character, which was part of the reason why it was definitely lower in rating, like lower 4 stars. But overall, still a good book, and I still would recommend the series as a whole. Then I read Storms and Secrets by Claire Kingsley, which is another romantic suspense. This is book 2 of her Haven Brothers series, and book 1 in this series I felt kind of disappointed about because I love the Bailey Brothers series, and this is another one where I was just like, how is this the same person who wrote the Bailey Brothers? Because the Bailey Brothers is like one of my favorite series. I adore that series so freaking much. 2 of the books in that series was on my top favorites of 2022. And then this one, like I enjoyed this one, but nowhere near the amount that I enjoyed the Bailey Brothers books, and that was just really, it's like sad. I felt really like let down by it. I think I like this one better than book 1, which isn't saying a whole lot, but this series isn't doing it for me. Then I went back and read book 3 and 4 in the Reynolds Protective series by Dr. Rebecca Sharp, and I really liked these ones. So Gunner, which is book 3 in the Reynolds Protective series, was my other top favorite read of March. This one I gave 4.5 stars, which shocked me because it's surprise pregnancy. So this one is about a guy named Gunner, who is one of the brothers who runs Reynolds Protective Group, and this rich guy comes to their group and is like, I need you to protect my daughter. And Gunner is the one that's like hired to protect his daughter. And Gunner is a playboy for sure. And he is definitely like somebody who is a one-night kind of guy, but he's very upfront about that, which I don't mind. I don't mind a playboy as long as he's super upfront about what he actually wants. He's like, I'm not looking for a relationship. I want a one-night. That's where we're at. And that is very much who Gunner is. And so when he shows up to pick up this woman that he is supposed to be protecting, he finds out that it is a woman that he had a one-night stand with on vacation a couple of months ago, and she's pregnant. And she's like, okay, yes, the baby's yours. And there is somebody who's like after her. So it's a romantic suspense, and it was so well done. I really, really, really liked the development of the romance between Gunner and the heroine, whose name I can't remember. And I thought their suspense was really, really interesting. I really liked the like twists of it, of the like reveals. It was, I think, the most interesting suspense of all 4 of the books in this series, but I really, really liked this one. 4.5 stars. Definitely my favorite of the series. Then I read Ranger, which is book 4, which is actually the one that I wanted to read most when I first started out reading this series, because this one, the main hero, is based off of Spencer Reid from Criminal Minds. And if you don't know, Criminal Minds is one of my favorite shows. I love Spencer Reid so, so much. He's one of my favorite characters from Criminal Minds. And so I was really excited to read a book based off of him, or like inspired by him. And I really loved the hero. I really loved the hero in this book. He is a virgin hero. He's socially awkward. He has an eidetic memory. He's super, super smart, very much like Reid from Criminal Minds. And so I really liked the hero. And the heroine is an author who recently has been getting a lot of like bad reviews and death threats because she killed off the main hero in her book series because it was inspired by her ex-fiance who she found out had been cheating on her. And so she comes to this small town and to like get away, and she rents an apartment or a apartment above a garage from Ranger, and they end up starting a romance, and they actually end up in a marriage of convenience. And I thought the reason for the marriage was really dumb. Really dumb. I don't think they actually needed the marriage of convenience part of it, but I did end up liking the suspense. I liked Ranger a lot as a hero. I did like their relationship. I just thought the marriage part was dumb. So I ended up giving it 4 stars. I did really enjoy it. Then, because I was feeling so slumpy and because I had like not been loving a ton of books, I decided to do a bunch of rereads. And the book that I decided to reread first was Moonstruck by Onley James. I love the Necessary Evil series by Onley James. It is one of my favorite series ever, and I hadn't reread it in a while, and so I decided to pick up Moonstruck. It was just the one that was like in my head that I was like, oh, that I keep thinking about it. So I picked up Moonstruck, absolutely loved it again, 5 stars again, and then I was like, I think I'm gonna need to do some more rereads, so I decided to go back and read Psycho, which is technically book 2 in the series. Moonstruck is book 3. I don't like book 1. So I started with book 3, then went back to book 2, and then after finishing Psycho and giving it 5 stars again, I went to book 4, which is Headcase, and then book 5, and then book 7. Of the Necessary Evil series. So I basically reread most of the Necessary Evil series. I skipped book 1 and book 6. And I love them. I love them. I gave all of them 5 stars. I absolutely adore them. It's one of my favorite series. If you haven't read the Necessary Evil series and you don't know what it's about, it is about an eccentric billionaire named Thomas who is a psychologist, and he adopts a bunch of children with psychopathic tendencies to raise them to be killers, but to only kill bad people. He believes that psychopathy is actually a genetic adaptation that is a great thing to help cull the bad people that the government and the judicial system cannot handle. And so he raises all of them to be killers, and then each book is them as adults finding their partner. And they're all MM, and they're psychopaths, but they're like sweetheart psychopaths. They're like absolute cinnamon roll psychopaths, which is just so great, and I love them so much. So I'm so happy I did this reread. I am really, really excited to meet Onley James at a Polycon. She's like one of my top authors to see at a Polycon, and I had a great time with it. And it really helped me to do these rereads, to just like reread books that I love and like feel no pressure, and I listened to the audiobooks while I was working, and it just worked out great. Then I read The Witch and His Doctor by Kiki Clark. This is the final book in the Kincaid Pack series, and I love the Kincaid Pack series by Kiki Clark. It is shifter romances, and there's this overarching storyline, so you definitely need to read the series in order, but this is the final book in the series, and I had been putting it off for a while. I just like never bought the audiobook when it came out, and so I finally got it, and I loved this. It was great. I had been in a slump. I had been not loving books, and then I read this one, and I finished it so quickly. It's probably like 4.5 for the vibes, but like 4 for the story, if that makes sense. But I really, really enjoyed this. I can't say a whole ton about it because, again, a lot of it has to do with like the previous books in the series, but each book follows a different couple. So this couple is a bear shifter and a witch, and it's an age gap romance, and I really, really enjoyed it. I had a great, great time with it, and because it was the last book in the Kincaid Pack series, I was feeling the Kincaid Pack series, and I was like, I missed them, and so I decided to do a reread of The Deputy and His Enforcer by Kiki Clark, which is book 3, I think, in the Kincaid Pack series, and I loved it again. So that is all of the books that I read in the month of March. I went through those very quickly, and it's been a while since I read quite a few of them, so I'm sorry if I can't give you like full synopsises, but I'm really hoping to do a mid-month wrap-up again in April, and I don't know, Again, I think that my videos in April are going to be sporadic and not like on schedule, but I'm going to try and do as many as I can. I'll probably do a vlog because they seem to be easier for me, at least right now, to like actually pick up my camera and vlog. But I will definitely, I say definitely, I will very probably have a mid-month wrap up in April, and then I will be going to a Polycon at the end of the month, and I probably will not film going to a Polycon. I'm just so bad at filming at events. But I will do a book haul when I come back from a Polycon because I have not done a book haul in ages. So I have 2 stacks of books next to me here, and then I'll do books that I get at a Polycon. So that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for sticking with me. Subscribe if you want to see more content from me, and I just want to thank you so much for sticking around and for supporting me and for all of your comments on my previous video, like wishing me well and my health and everything. So I really appreciate it, and I hope that you have the absolute best day. Bye.